All right, I'll chime in.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Welcome to evening episode of Change Starts With Us, Ohio. Today we got some concerns related to the epidemic that is taking place in the prison system. I think we lost you there for a minute, Jerry. But I do have Jerry Vaughn with us today, the vice president of our organization. And we've been kind of dealing with emails, JPay, and phone calls from inmates and their families on their concerns on what is happening. Hey, Jerry, what do you think about what's happening?
Well, I was reading some of the emails. The staff does not have protective equipment, which again puts the inmates in danger of spreading this virus to them. So I just sent a letter today to Mr. Wilson, who is the go-between between the prison system and the governor. But I was assured by his secretary that the safety measures are in place, that it can be checked out through the website for the ODRC, and there was a phone number also to call them. So, but that's still some different concerns. They're not going to tell you 100% truth about everything.
Right, and I think that people need to check out that website along with emailing their state senator and House member. And the governor's office is not taking any email, but suggest to them to do a lot more to protect our people behind bars. I got a JPay today, which Jerry read from a guy up at Marion, and he said they're doing the minimum. That's about it. And they had, I think he said, 3 cases from 3 staff members that tested positive. I've not been able to confirm that though.
Yes, that was the information that I took from that too, by reading that. But it doesn't matter. You know, if they're going to say, the news is going to say 3, a JPay email from someone is going to tell you probably the more truth about it, because they are in the institution itself.
Right.
And, you know, the talk goes around even from the staff members that somebody has it, this and that, you know.
Right.
So, and I did point that out to the letter to Mr. Wilson, which I suggested that Governor DeWine was able to get PPE equipment for all the hospitals and stuff in the state of Ohio. I'll guarantee if he made the right phone calls, he could get it for all the institutions, for the staff, and all the inmates, at least to wear a mask.
Right, but they're going to call them just inmates, and they're not citizens, so they'll forget about them, unfortunately. You know.
If we continue to get the emails that we've been getting, then we will have to try to get the media involved.
Right, which may not be a bad idea now. You may consider contacting them, because we need to start getting the proper gear and the proper disinfectant. You know, the one guy from Marion said they're not really disinfecting like they're supposed to. I guess they did put in hand sanitizer stations throughout the institution. So that should have been in anyways.
Well, what I had read too was that the different institutions are making masks and gowns. As I read, it was supposed to be for the facilities to use.
Right. The only one that's doing that is Allen.
Yes, they're the only one that's making it. So are they making it for all the facilities, or are they making it just for one?
They're not making it for
the hospitals.
I don't believe they're making it for any of the facilities. I believe it's for the outside.
They didn't really say who they were for.
Yeah, I believe they're for outside hospitals.
Well, that's what's been being televised that different places, which they're not mentioning any of the business of making this stuff, except for they're making hand sanitizers.
Right.
Again, to send outside the facility.
Yeah, and look at all the hand sanitizer New York made, the inmates at New York, and they weren't allowed to buy any or even keep any. They send it all out.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And I think, and as I told the man, Mr. Wilson, today, that problems started rising, that the state was going to be held accountable.
Right.
To these situations. Now, what I believe, anyone who has seen the letter that I wrote, I will rewrite that in my handwriting and post it as one complete letter with his information, his email address, to where others can send him emails and request the same thing that I did, which I had said. Once these people are put in danger, they need to start considering releasing these people with 15 years or more with restrictions to where they can go home and be protected with their families better than they can in the judicial system.
Right. And what Andrew Brenner said, which I didn't agree with everything he stated, was that there would be no way to get into Job and Family Services. But if these guys have a great support team, at least let them come home to someone. Then that could be worked on after they get home. There is free clinics. There is free clinics for the men and women once they get out. Columbus, I know of one, but I think they have about 4 or 5. They even have a free charitable pharmacy for those that can't afford prescriptions.
Right.
So,
yeah, and we have the same thing around here too. They don't have to go through the Job and Family Services to get anything.
Right.
Their families themselves are able and in a better position to help them get jobs.
Right.
Than the Job and Family Center.
Yeah. Now, when getting to writing our senators or House members, I would write the president of the Senate, which is Mr. Oldoff, and the minority leader, who's a friend of mine, Kenny Yuko. He's a good guy. And then write as many state senators as you can, along with state reps. And the governor, well, the governor's not accepting emails, but if you go to the Ohio Senate page, you could email every senator on there. You just go down the list and do it that way. And you could say that you're with Change Starts With Us Ohio if you would like. But let's get this done and let's get these people protected.
Yes.
Well,
because we already know in other facilities in different states, people are dying. And it's a matter of time here. And as I told Mr. Wilson today, it only takes one to infect 100.
Right. My understanding through, I think it was Brett Gibney told me out of Florida, who is from Columbus. He's the one that his son was killed through fentanyl in the county jail. But he said the county jails have or will be releasing around 6,000 people. He sent me an article on that too.
Yeah. Well, if the county jails are trying to get them out because of the information that they have, and the prisons themselves need to do the same thing.
But I think part of the concern of the men and women are those coming from the county jail to start their time through CRC and putting with general population who doesn't have the virus, but some of these new guys may have it.
Well, the thing is you don't know who has it.
No.
Because you may not show any symptoms for 7 to 10 days after you've been exposed.
Right.
So by the time each person contacts and gets in a group of 4 or 5, that the one person is contaminated and not showing symptoms, they're contaminating them other 5 people by being around them.
Right. Right.
And again, as I understand, that if you cough and sneeze into the environment, that spray from coughing and sneezing can stay in the air itself for up to 3 hours.
Right. Same thing on surfaces.
Well, surfaces are a little different. Different surfaces holds it longer. Cardboard holds it for about 4 hours.
Right.
Stainless steel holds it for about 4 hours. Copper holds it for about 3 hours.
Right.
So again, there's a lot of stainless steel in these places. You know.
Right. Hey Maurice, if you want to do tomorrow night around 6 or 7, let me know. Okay. Yeah, the inmates that are calling and their families are really in an uproar because they're terrified for their loved ones.
Well, again, I suggest that they group up together themselves and write a letter to Mr. Wilson. And also, we're going to have to start calling the media in these different cities to get them involved.
Right.
And stop accepting what the ODRC is saying. Because believe me, I don't believe it myself.
Right. And so much of the media is very supportive of the state. One thing I do agree with Donald Trump is that much of it is fake. Much of it is fake.
Sure, the media is fake. Yeah, sure. We know that. You know, they hype everything up as to what they want to hype up.
Right.
But this is not something that they will get behind and get excited about.
Right. But, the only way we have a chance to win this is if we get other people that are willing to get involved. And like I said, they could just Google up Ohio State Senate, click on the senator, send an email through the website there. And then just keep going down the list.
Well, and I think it's a shame that we can't get the other Ohio groups to join in to fight this battle together.
Right. Tiffany wrote, our friend is at Allen Oakwood Correctional. I hope they release some of the people, there. I hope they release some of the people throughout the state. And if I remember correctly, your loved one, Tiffany's been there for a long time, if I remember correctly. So, yeah. I mean, granted, not everybody could be released. I would go by those that have a good institutional record. And that's been, and some of them could have been down 20, 30 years. Let's get those people out so they can see their families.
Well, like I said, anybody with 15 years or more with a good record, they need to come out with it. And of course, there's going to be restrictions. Even New York has released people under restrictions and stuff, and that's okay. But at least they're home to where they can be much safer themselves.
Right, and it also cuts down the population in the prison, and it's easier to control the virus that way.
Yes, it is. Because like I said, people are contaminated. It only takes one to infect 100, and you don't know that you've got the virus until 7 to 10 days after you've been exposed to it. Some people may get, they may show symptoms sooner and stuff, and then you got to stay away from people for 14 days,
Yeah, Tiffany Ann wrote, her friend's been locked up 25 years.
Well, it's time for that person to come home.
Right.
Period. Anybody who has done 15 years or more, even if they haven't done their minimum, they can get judicial release.
Right. Yes, Tiffany, so many of these people have perfect records. They've been down 20, 25, 30 years, even 15 years. No tickets. Let's get these people home. Bypass the parole board and just release them.
Those are the people, unfortunately, that the state wants to keep.
Right, because it's cheap labor, where if they would have to hire somebody on the outside, they'd be paying a lot more money.
That's true. But you've got somebody in there that's a troublemaker. They want to get them out and get them out of there and get them out of the place so the seniors don't have to deal with it. So, because they think in the back of their mind they're going to be coming back.
Right.
Some of them may not, but that's the way they think. Those that don't have a misbehaving record and a lot of tickets or anything like that, they want to keep them.
Right.
Because they're a money maker. They're a better money maker than the troublemakers are.
Yeah, you're correct. I remember years ago, they would pull people out of segregation, or as we know, the hole. They'd be in white jumpsuits back in the day, and they'd take them to a pro board. And they might have had 3 or 4 dirty urines over the year, but they pro them right away. That's when the state used to get $35,000 for each violation. Now, Trump did take a lot of that away because he did not renew the grant that the states were getting. But still, the people with perfect and good records, or at least close to good records, they would give them, back then, they could give them 50 to 100 years if they wanted to. There was no restrictions. I remember one guy getting 50 years up at Grafton. He had a life sentence. So I always wondered if he's still in there. Of course, back then he was like 60, and that was like 25 years ago, so I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Right.
But it's still wrong.
Right, it is.
The parole board itself is abusing the system.
Right.
The parole board is hand-picked, and that's okay, but pick someone is not going to be biased to the system.
Right.
Pick someone that's going to listen to what's going on.
Uh-huh.
Don't be flopping somebody because of the nature of the crime.
Right.
The nature of the crime is what put a person in the prison anyway.
Right. That's true.
So, and you've not broken any laws since you've been there, state laws, you know. I think most of the COs that work in these places causes the inmates to break a per se rule.
Right.
Themselves.
True.
But once you file a complaint against the CO, then they will route you out to another facility.
Yeah, and if you and the guys that's locked up, they will see all these other people sit by the COs like they're just kicking it with them. What does an inmate have in common with a CO besides telling on people?
Well, but I don't think you have as much of that going on at all, really.
You used to.
Well, COs will pay people to snitch on other people over things.
Right.
You know that.
Right, they bring cigarettes in and stuff.
But the COs need to realize too, when they do that, they're putting those inmates in danger.
Right. Well,
themselves.
yeah. Well, before we close, we're going to try to give an update every night if possible. Some nights maybe we'll skip. But if you could write your state and local state senator, just Google Ohio Senate and click on senators and just go down the list and send each one an email and ask them to give more protection to the men and women who are locked up, and make a suggestion that those that have been down years with great records start releasing people like New York has, like the county jails has. Let's get these guys home and cut the population down, which will cut the virus down. And please do the same with the Ohio House. Just look up the Ohio House and click on House members, and then just go down the list. What would you like to say for your last comments, Jerry?
Just bear with me. It may not be this evening, but it will be sometime tomorrow. That I will get this reposted with Mr. Wilson's phone number and email address on there, and plus his secretary's address. So keep those things in mind. But again, Mr. Wilson is the go-between between the prison system and the governor. And anything, even after this is over, any situation that comes about with the inmate that you are related to, don't hesitate to send him an email about it.
Right. And let's give our contact information as well. Our email is changestartswithusohio@gmail.com. Our phone number is 614-404-4924. And soon a website will be up at www.changestartswithusohio.org. Again, that is www.changestartswithusohio.org. Bear with us on that. It's paid for and everything. We're just trying to get it set up so that it looks good. And we're going to feature some wrongful conviction cases on there and share a brief statement on it. Remember, we're not saying they're innocent, but we are giving them a chance to prove it and to share their information on it. Okay, everyone, have yourself a great night.
Are you there?
Yeah.